Despite South Africa's political conflict and economic troubles, there is a sector of the economy that's really picked up recently. The food and beverage sector has expanded over 1% in December, and CCTV's Angelo Coppola has the details.
While many would suggest that at least the sector grew, economists, however, aren't as optimistic.
If you keep in mind that manufacturing output should actually give you a pretty good estimate of a large share of the economic activity, 1.1%, still shows it is up from a contraction in November, but it's still not great.
Business associations have been concerned for some time now about the manufacturing sector because it's the backbone of the country's economy.
There's not much that the private sector can do because they rely on the macro environment in which they operate. And we've seen that macro environment become less favorable to manufacturers, whether it's labor, whether it's dear old Eskom. It's very hard to grow any kind of business in South Africa, especially a manufacturer, if you don't have a consistent, reliable source of power. We've fallen well behind in people's decision making as to where they're going to put that capital, where they're going to put that investment, and where they're going to put their intellectual property.
While electricity constraints are cited as a major inhibitor to economic growth, there is another challenge bubbling under the surface.
Our water infrastructure is pretty old. We've known that for a while. I think there's been a lot of talk about it, but still I hope that the action will come. As part of the SIPs, there are some water projects, but it's about the basic pipes and infrastructure in the towns and making sure that keeps running. Otherwise, we might have another crisis on our hands pretty soon.
While the manufacturing data was up marginally for the end of the year, it doesn't bode well for the remainder of 2015 or 2016. There is also one other major white elephant in the room, and that's water provision. The manufacturing sector needs water. I'm Angelo Coppola for CCTV in Johannesburg.